Well, hello everyone. Right here, talk about resources right here whenever it comes to receiving gift cards. And I know most of us will probably say is that, yeah, we know what a gift card is, right? That's a card that with money on it that allows you to where you can go ahead and do where you can shop, right? And so a lot of times it sure seems that way, that especially around the holidays, that I usually see that to where that you're going to go ahead and receive a gift card, or maybe if you're going to ask you to get a gift card, and one of those ways, of course, is maybe going to be something like to where that, okay, yeah, well, really, that whenever it comes to receiving a gift card, it could be a gift card to a certain shopping center, shopping mall, or somewhere like that. It could also be to Amazon. It could maybe also be, just any other source of yeah, that spending like a just like a gift card toward it. You have so much to spend, so much credit on there and all that. So like you're thinking just toward, yeah, that there's the express cards and all that. And so at the time you want to know too that really that when we do think about that and want to know that, okay, yeah, well, really that if you were to actually do the math though, and want to know that what's the maximum amount of money that you can put on an actual gift card. And a lot of us might even say that it's up to $500, or some might say that, if anything, up to 100 or something like that. But it sure seems that way, that each time we do think about that, and want to know too that, really that, the question kind of goes by is toward, okay, how do you use it, rather than what you call is like toward it, yeah, whenever you do purchase them from the store and all that, and like talk about for third party, right? And so each time we do speak about third party, we're also talking about is that, yeah, with through third party, that meaning is toward it, you might have to sign. There's a separate paper that you got to fill out or something like that, but a lot of times it sure seems that way, that when we do speak about gift cards a lot of times, and thinking is that, yeah, well, really it's pretty much I mean, it's the same thing as cash, right? But still that when we do speak about gift cards a lot of times, that's another reason to why that you would go into those expensive shopping malls, and maybe those expensive shopping places, like yeah, even just to get lunch or something like that. And you're warned toward it, that whenever you do shop around or go places, and at 102 that, yeah, well, really that I received this gift card right here, and this gift card is now giving me the privilege to where I can go ahead and spend $20 or more or something like that at an actual shopping center. And so let's just say that if you are meeting somebody or anything like that, but I just want to tell everybody here that these right here are some of these sketches right here. This right here is a sketch right here of talking about is as toward how somebody meets, and a lot of times, like everybody else might say, is that really that people are able to look at what you've put together so far, and at the time you want to know too that yeah, if you're just trying to show somebody something, and at the time it's like really that and a lot of times with those receipts, by the way, with those receipts, that any receipts that you do get, as long as you go ahead and take a photograph of your receipts, and then you can actually there are apps that you can use just to be able to yeah, so it's like, yeah, that 25 times so yeah, that so I'll go and put right here of receipts, because on the other hand, it's like with a lot of receipts, that when we do talk about receipts, that they are forms, it's proof read, indicating that of your purchase, right? So every time we do speak about receipts, and each time we do speak about gift cards and all that, and a lot of times it's like you're gonna read on the receipt right here to where that you'll receive a new update from the bill has been posted, and So that was the discussion I made from earlier, but like everybody else might even say is that whenever you look at a lot of those instructions, that it's gonna you're gonna maybe see something like my apps, and of course you're welcome to my blog or something like that. So a lot of times, every time we do when we do speak about receiving an email, and of course receiving a code, a text code or something like that, maybe not everybody's really going to understand what all that is. So that's why it sure seems that way that, shareable links. Shareable links are another source, a way of how to show somebody on how something works, right? So that's why it sure seems that way that when we do speak about gift cards a lot of times, that really that the gift cards, whenever you use a gift card, that you can enjoy your shopping, right? But like everybody else might say that all that other paperwork, including maybe the bonus points or anything like that, I'll go and just leave it. I'll go and just leave it with I'm like, with my boyfriend or something like that. So like anybody else might say that somebody goes ahead and does the shopping, but then that other person, of course, is go ahead and handle the paperwork or whichever. But a lot of times you'll always want to know too that really, how are you going to be able to find out how it all works? Maybe if you don't just look to see, maybe how it's done, or maybe if you're just curious to find out about how it works and all that. But I'm just showing everybody here of talking about for gift cards, because a lot of things what I have seen from over the years, like I say that if you're going to be shopping at like one of those expensive stores, and most of the time, like everybody else would say, is toward it, if you receive a gift card, number one, that you would probably go shopping, somewhere, and at that place, right? And so that's why it sure seems that way. That when we do speak about the gift cards, though, that you're warned toward, okay, how does it work right here? And so I can think is toward, most of the time with most gift cards, that once you do receive them, right, and there's a lot of gift cards that you do receive for the holidays, and let's just say that if you have more than one of them, and 102 that there's an area on it, the gift card, where you scratch off just to be able to redeem a PIN number, and also you just the sign on the back, and stuff like that. But a lot of times we want to know too that when we do speak about gift cards a lot of times, and you're thinking is toward really that would most of us much rather just see cash rather than be thinking about all the time about if it's going to be what you call the Samsung Pay app or something like that, or if it's Best Buy or Walmart or something like that. And so that's why half the time you're always want to know too that whenever it comes to understanding about gift cards and purchases, though, and like talk about for providing resources, right? So each time when you're going through this information right here, like I talk about for the backpack and everything, but we want to know too that whenever it comes to understanding about how something works, especially a gift card, because we know that we know what a gift card is, right? But let's just say that somebody's going to maybe say is toward, I didn't get an actual, I got the card, but just, now they're telling me that I had to install the mobile app just to be able to use it. So a lot of these gift cards nowadays that require you go ahead and follow this link right here, that you receive by text message, and you're able to receive these awards points just by following this link right here. So let's just say that if I were to, I'm like, so like anybody say is toward that the hyperlink would include like maybe curly bracket along with a few certain characters and all, but the way I think about it, though, that just for security purposes is why that they send that. But on the other hand, too, that whenever it comes to understanding about gift cards, though, that whenever you do receive a gift card, that you might receive a gift card just by participating in any events. Like, yeah, if it's the COVID vaccines, or if it's just to get your medical attention or something like that, or if it is anything that is related to your recent purchase or something like that. And that is why it sure seems that way, that with gift cards, that whenever you do receive a gift card, that you're thinking is toward, okay, yeah, well, really, you get a gift card, and that gift card, of course, could be to Best Buy, or could also be to maybe Penny's or Macy's, or Walmart, Kohl's, or anywhere else. Like, yeah, if it's maybe Big Lots, or maybe Office Depot, Walgreens. And so that's why it sure seems that way, that when we do speak about gift cards, though, that you may have, like, yeah, like everybody else might say, is that once you do receive the gift card, but you're thinking is toward, okay, yeah, well, number one, that you might even be told is toward that, receiving a gift card and compared to purchasing a gift card, because, most of them are going to be, like quite a few of them are going to be third party, right? So that's why it sure seems that way, that, what's the best way of how to describe, for third party? And I can go and just put right here, talk about for third party. Third party, which I know that, third party means is toward that there's going to be a separate application, a separate form, separate form, and it could be a little bit slower process. So a lot of times it's like, it's about the speed of the process. So, like everybody else might say, that once you do order something, and maybe once you do receive something, and that you might even think as toward the process of it. The process we're talking about between 48 up to 48 hours, something like that. 48 hours, and but on the other hand, it's like everybody else might say, that based on your shopping experience, that you may have seen as to where I'm like, yeah, well, really, that based on your shopping experience, you do see things, I'm like, yeah, within maybe 15 or maybe 20 minutes or so, that something's going to start working or something like that. So a lot of times you're thinking as toward, okay, yeah, third party and separate forms, all, but it's like whenever you do receive a gift card, that it's like, you're probably thinking as toward it. Back in the old days, that it was they would, you would see, super savers passes or something like that, and then money vouchers or something like that. And so you were always thinking as toward it, that usually that you would actually swipe it at the register, right? But then now they have these apps to where you can actually install an app to your phone, to give you that ability to where you can go ahead and use your phone just to be able to enjoy your shopping experience, right? And so that's why it sure seems that way, that each time we do speak about that, and want to know that okay, that really, how does this work? And I'm like, yeah, it's the QR code scanner, and so it's like the barcode scanner, and so that's why it's like that it's like when we do speak about the gift cards a lot of times. And I want to know too that the reason why, of course, the reason why I got my phone right here was because, so that I'm like, yeah, like everybody else might say, that they make phone calls. I'm like, yeah, to place calls, and of course, just to be able to check your email messages and all that. But to watch movies, like everybody else might say, that you go ahead and get your smartphone if you're going to be watching movies, if you're going to be listening to the radio or watching movies or streaming media. But still, how many of us are going to maybe say that you can actually, if you figured it out, then you can also use it just to be able to check out the coupons and savings, on the gift card. And so it sure seems that way, that a lot of things what we see advertised nowadays, it's like you want to know too that that whenever you were first working on some of the stuff right here that you were actually trying to figure out here about the math, right? And so that's why it's like the proof of records are right here. But at the time, you want to know too that whenever you go back and look at all this information right here, and want to know too that if it's the same steps that you would use if it's going to be about receiving the emails, and the same thing it goes by as this tour whenever you do receive a gift card, that whenever you do receive a gift card it goes by saying as to where that there is a survey or something like that, or an application that's attached to the email or something like that. So not everybody's really going to understand that, so that's why it sure seems that way. That's why it goes by saying as to where that you go ahead and talk to an expert about that, and just want to know too that hey, that can you show me how this works and all that. But a lot of times you're thinking as to where that well really that when we do speak about gift cards a lot of times, and it sure seems that way that you're trying to make things a little bit more simple, right? And tell people to especially the grandparents. I'm like, just to make it more simple to understand. Really, things have gotten a lot more complicated nowadays. Things have gotten a lot more complicated nowadays. But just to make it a little bit more simple, though, it's a gift box, and it's a gift box, and so it sure seems that way that each time we do speak about gift box, so then you're like 102 that really that what a lot of parents would probably say too, that it's a gift box, something like that right there. But you're not really going to understand what that means until it's actually delivered to until you actually receive it in the mail. For sure you would probably know what it is, right? But a lot of times, like everybody else might say, is toward it back in the older days, is that you have something delivered to you, such as maybe in a gift baggie or something like that. But now it's on emails, and so not everybody's really going to understand that. So half the time, you want to know too is that the gift baggies and the gift boxes, of course, are for grandma and grandpa. But then, of course, when we do speak about emails, so that I'll go and just let the grandson take care of that, or I'll go ahead and let my cousin take care of that, or I'll go ahead and let auntie or uncle or maybe cousin, cousin, or if it's brother or sister or somebody else, take care of that. But half the time you want to know too that when we do speak about gift cards a lot of times, that people might say is to her that well really that well I don't sign anything, or I'm not gonna play ball, and I don't sign anything. So that I'm like, the puppy dog right there. So at the time you want to know too that when we do speak about gift cards a lot of times, that not everybody's really going to understand that. So that's why it sure seems that way, that you want to include like maybe like a symbol or something like. But still that when we do speak about gift cards a lot of times, especially when it comes to rebates, mail-in rebates, if we know what that means. What is the example of a mail-in rebate? A mail-in rebate. That's money, right? A rebate. That's money mailed to you. It's money that you receive on top, from your purchase, right? So that whenever we do speak about gift cards a lot of times, that we'll probably warn us to where that I don't really understand all this stuff right here. I don't know what the app is right here, but like anybody else might say, is to where that really that are you going to be in that situation to where, well, this is mine, my my phone or something like that. So yeah, like anybody else might say that if you're going to be getting on Messenger call or something like that and be talking to anybody like that, and like say it's my phone, my present or something like that, my present, and so I really don't know. My present or something like that. Anybody else might even say that if you're going to be starting any conversations with grandpa and grandma right there in 102, that really you go ahead and you go ahead and call that message right there my present, my phone, my gift baggie. Yeah, my gift baggie, just because that I figured out how it works, and so it's mine. My gift baggie. Like anybody else might say that. Yeah, my gift baggie right there. And if you want to put dash right there or something like that, or just put that. I really don't know. I think that is that spelled with one G. I guess you can spell it however you like, but still that. By the time you figure it out, how it works or whichever, or anybody that might say that, yeah, that, you learn something, you learn something new every day, right? But half the time you want to know too, that where did the words my come from right here? And like everybody else might say that, yeah, well, it's mine. Well, yeah, well, I didn't think that you even want it to begin with just because that you couldn't figure it out. But a lot of times, like everybody else might say, is toward it, yeah, when do you think that you are going to call it my, my this or my that or something like that? This right here, this is my, this is my, yeah, this is my mailbox here. So it's like, yeah, so it's like every time you think about that too, is that before it was yours, that you did not even know how it worked, number one. So it sure seems that way, like everybody else might say, is that yeah, how that is with the grandparents, is that that by the time you learn the basics, by the time you get the idea, by the time you learn the basics, that you're going to claim that it's yours. Yeah, but I'm like, yeah, whenever you like it, especially, yeah. Oh, yeah, you like it. You like it. Just the way it is. You like it just the way it is, and then let's just say that so say something like that. So it sure seems that way that yeah, if I want to go ahead and include like maybe like a little smiley face or something like that, and like people might say is toward that, yeah, well really that I'm trying to find a smiley face that to use for an example, right? But just use something like that. I like. Or something. I'm like, yeah, I like it with an exclamation point and maybe with a closing bracket or something like that. Yeah, I like it. So it's like, yeah, so a lot of times you're probably thinking is toward it, you go ahead and show somebody. I'm like, yeah, this sounds to me like a little brother or maybe a little sister or somebody like that you're going to be maybe playing playing a game with. Maybe if it's a bingo game or something like that, and thinking is toward it. Yeah, you go ahead and show them how something works, and let's just say that they do win a prize or something. So like a lot of times it's like, yeah, you win prizes and maybe for earn points just by just for playing or something like that. But half the time you want to know too, it's all part, I guess, about getting along, number one, but then also that when we do speak about to where you basically show somebody how something works, and then for sure they're gonna say is to where that right there, this is mine. It's mine. Well, I like it, so it's mine. Well, I saw it first. But it sure seems that way that, I see that, everybody that, anybody that might even say is toward it, how do you know if somebody does or if they don't like something or if they don't want something? And like anybody say is toward, well, you got to order it, number one. So if you didn't order it, but like let's say that, a lot of things that I have seen based on from my shopping experience would be is to where that, yeah, well, really, that if you were working on a painting, right, and let's just say that somebody had an idea about something, and like you say, is to where, okay, yeah, I don't know I don't know what that means. Can you show me what you're talking about? So a lot of times it's like, one of those examples, and I can tell you when everybody, be honest with everybody here too, is to where one of those examples would be on a receipt. One of those examples would be on like an advertisement or a receipt, but like everybody else might say, is that yeah, whenever you look at a receipt, right, it don't just prove that you paid for something, right, but then also that it's also going to be maybe another example of what you call goodies in the box or something like that. So like people might say that if you want to go ahead, if you have any receipts that you can show, but I'm like I don't have any pictures of those receipts available, but like we're talking about with receipts that a lot of those receipts are going to include information about is toward yeah, well, really that based on proof of your purchase, right? But then also there could be an invitation on there. There could also be points available on there, and there's also like yeah, there's a number you can call. Just to be able to play along on an activity. Like if there's any, I'm like, yeah, bingo cards or scratch offs or something like that. And so that's why it sure seems that way that each time I think about, shopping, and then maybe whenever it comes to, using the email and maybe using the gift cards, right? Everybody else might say is toward it just by testing your knowledge, right? And people might say is toward, okay, yeah, what's this? Or, yeah, what's that right there? And so it's like, at the time, it sure seems that way that, based on your shopping experience, the first thing people are going to maybe say is toward what all can I get for $8, or what all can I get for $1, or how does this work right here? So let's just say that that the first thing that you start out with, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, if it's cash, maybe with the flag right there, something like that. But let's just say that the first thing you just start out with, like, yeah, if you read the detail, like, but still, that how many of us, how many of us are really going to maybe even say too that, I'm just trying to think of a good example here, but yeah, admissions, one ticket or something like that for ticket pricing. Whenever we go through these categories right here, like yeah, rolling a dice or something like that, playing a game of cards or something like that, playing a video game, and I want to know that yeah, not everybody knows how that works. So really, how do the puzzle pieces fit together right there? And want to know that okay, how does that work? I don't understand. What do I need to do right here? So a lot of times it's like yeah, I don't know about a compass, but I tell people too that if you're trying to explain to somebody about how it all works right here, and like if you're going to be on the phone with maybe one of those insurance companies or something like that, and I want to know that okay, what's the best way of how to describe how it all works right here, and you're thinking is toward okay, yeah, that the best way of how it all works right here, and 102 that I'm like, yeah, I could maybe search, example too, but yeah, the teddy bear or something. But I can search it, the details too, but at the time it sure seems that way that yeah, gift exchange. I'm like yeah, gift received or something like that. No results found. I don't know why. Maybe if I just got to install, like, download and install the app or something. But yeah, yeah, it's a gift, But then also, the type of word I'm talking about is known about is toward it. Whenever it comes to attention, and I can say, I'm like, yeah, if there's really any source of support for that, but anyway, what I would probably say too is that yeah, that look at that is toward it. Whenever you're first learning something new, though, and you want to know too is toward it. Look at it like Play-Doh. Look at that like Play-Doh, right? And you want to know too that with this Play-Doh right here, and it's going to change different colors, and it's going to give you that ability to where you can actually do something, and then maybe you earn enough points to give a gift to somebody else. And so half the time, like, yeah, it's all about sharing, right? And based on from my experience, it seems like it's really you learn something new, and then you want to go ahead and yeah, you would somebody's gonna maybe say is to ask you to share, so that way somebody else can be able to find out more about how that works and all that. So, like everybody else might say that based on your experience though, it's like whenever you do share something with somebody, maybe you're able to teach them something. And one of those things, of course, is maybe going to be about is that yeah, you want to go ahead and share at least 3%. Like, oh, but half the time you always want to know too that when we do speak about gift cards a lot of times, those gift cards, by the way, like anybody say that, yeah, well, really, that with those gift cards, by the way, I'm like, you may only receive them, really during the holidays and all that. But let's just say if we're talking about, gift cards, certain gift cards, though, is that once you do receive a gift card, though, that maybe somebody's gonna maybe say is toward yeah, well, really, that's usually around the holidays, right? But let's just say that if you were to share a gift card with somebody, and let's just say that somebody's going to say is to where that I don't know how this works right here. So can you please explain how this works? And so that way I can better understand it. And so that's why it sure seems that way that yeah, to where you go ahead and put on here is toward it. Once you receive this. Once you receive this, it could also be an email, but then you would actually there's there's like yeah, there's a code. There's a code that you like yeah, it's all about about a code, right? So there's a code that you enter, and usually that goes by is like at least 5 digits, 5 characters, digit code that you enter. And so I'm like yeah, that code, of course, 5-digit code, and it could include a few letters and numbers, right? But like everybody else might say that if you want to give an example of what you're talking about, and yeah, like a Christmas tree or something like that, I can just use Christmas tree. Christmas tree bell or something like that. Yeah, Christmas tree bell. 8 a Christmas tree bell. I think that's a little bit too long, but tell everybody that Christmas tree bell, and but still that the code would probably be something like bell, bell 33 or something like that would probably be used for a coupon code or something like that. So a lot of times it sure seems that way that yeah. If you want to include like maybe a sticker or something like that right there, but you want to know too that okay, yeah, you're talking about for the Christmas trees, right? But really, what is so magical about that? The tree. So I have right there, I'm like, yeah, the Bell 33 right there, and so like you may see something like that on a gift card, right? So a lot of times you'll want to know too that really anybody who doesn't know how that works, but it's going to remind you just a little bit of playing a board game. Like if you're actually are playing the game pieces, if you were actually using these game pieces right here just to be able to play a board game, if you want to kind of look at that like a board game, but we're talking about for shopping, but like everybody else might say is to where based on your shopping experience, you might say is to where that yeah, well really that I don't know if I can remember that always having to remember what the code was, or there's a code that you had to write down, or maybe there's a serial number or something like that that you had to provide or something like that. But anyway, but I understand the purpose about the gift card. But Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy Holidays.